It's Will Sean Podcast. The internet cried out for two more blowhards, and they courageously answered that call. Armed with the weapon of wit, each week they're joined by guests to discuss movies, television, pop culture, and anything else that's pissing them off. Take it away, boys.
I'm Will Link.
And I'm Sean David.
And this is Will Sean Podcast.
Rested, tan, smarter, faster, stronger, and with a new lease on life. How you doing, Will?
Yeah, it's been a while since we did one of these.
Yeah,
I'm excited to get back into it. I had this whole riff planned about how excited I am to get back, but now I'm too preoccupied because you allowed like a giant insect.
Yeah.
This giant insect flew into the apartment while I was letting our guest in. And you were like, oh, there's a monster, I'll get it. And you had a magazine, and then you were like just nudging it, and now it's disappeared. It's literally disappeared. It was giant. Where did it go? You didn't kill it.
No. Well, I was trying to be merciful and usher it gently back towards the door
so it could... giant mosquito.
Well, now it's just making a hive somewhere.
Where could it have been? I mean, okay, let's just be honest.
It's clearly in the fibers of the futon.
I don't know. First of all, it's not a futon. It's a normal
couch.
Fucking sofa. Secondly, what am I? What kind of life you think I'm living here?
The life of a derelict college student.
Exactly. Well, anyway, if you hear me like get up and start because I'm not relying on you to kill this thing.
No, but I'm also will not be editing any of this out of the episode should it reappear during the course of the recording.
Okay.
All right. But other than that, how's everything going? You've been busy.
I've been busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I've already wasted enough time talking about this bug. So I'll tell people about that next week. And I will ask you the question I always ask you. What's going on in the world of Will Sean Podcast?
I literally have no fucking clue. I was thinking about it today. I guess former guests of ours are on to better and greater things. I see that they are regularly booking things, signing things, selling things.
Which guests are these?
All of them.
And that's true.
They're all busy. Except for us. We just disappeared for a month and very few of you noticed.
Yeah, no, wait, I got some tweets about it.
I did too. I got some texts.
Yeah, I got people like, "Hey, did you stop doing the podcast?" And I'm like, "Well, clearly you're not listening because in the last episode I said we're going to take a month off."
Yeah.
So,
and
go fuck yourselves.
But yeah, I don't know. Just look back. All of our former guests are on to bigger and better things.
Okay.
And, for those of you who are new to the podcast, which I would maybe be one of you, please make sure that you are subscribed to us on iTunes. Give us a star rating. Leave a comment. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. And do all the standard things that is begged of you by podcast hosts.
And who is our sponsor this week?
RC Cola, the only soda that knows exactly what it is. Just cheap sugar water designed to stimulate the nerves while providing a few seconds of counterfeit pleasure.
Let me tell you what, that RC Cola is fucking good. Briefly, in the mid-90s, Yankee Stadium, I don't know what was going on. They didn't
Probably
have...
a fight with the soda unions.
They didn't have Coke or Pepsi. They had RC Cola, and I'm willing to say it was tastier.
There you go.
Yeah.
Royal Crown.
I should buy some RC Cola.
Do it. This way you won't be supporting either one of the big soda companies'
when I go to
social political
when
message.
I go to the bar, I'm going to be like, can I have a Jack and RC?
Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to do it and see what happens.
Nothing. You're going to end up with a Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Because they're going to say we have Coke, and you'll be like, I'm going.
On the guesses, oh my God. On the show this week, Whitewashing. Once again, we're going to solve racism. We do it all the time here. We will discuss the whitewashing of things like Ghost in the Shell.
And Tom Sawyer's Feds.
Nostalgia. Once again, we're going down nostalgia hole. I saw Trainspotting 2, and its mediocre nostalgia depressed me. We will get into it. And, of course, one of the reasons I was not here for weeks doing this show was because I had to take a fucking class. And we're going to get into why that is always a waste of time.
Your rage issues finally caught up with you, didn't they?
But first, we are very excited. She is very funny. I've been watching a lot of her videos all week and laughing a lot. Avital Ash.
Hey, thank you for having me. Thanks for watching some videos. I didn't know that happened.
Of course.
There was a lot of laughter today at work while I was watching the Woody Allen video.
Oh, thanks.
Was perfect.
By the way,
good.
And we'll get to it. We'll build to it. But that Woody Allen one, I watched a bunch of stuff, and the Woody Allen one is my favorite too. Because of course it is. Because I'm a neurotic New Yorker.
Right, you get it.
So it's my kind of thing. But how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Got kind of a sore throat, but I wanted to be here so badly. So
this is, it's our first show back.
I know,
so,
it's so exciting.
When we chose to spend it with
I'm
you.
going to just pretend it's your first show.
This is the first show.
You do not want this to be the first show.
No.
Yeah,
No,
we
that's
needed like
true.
15 reps before, things
Yeah.
really start going.
Get in a groove.
Yeah.
So, I always like to start with the guest's origin story. So, where are you from originally?
I'm from Miami originally.
Ah.
Yeah. Jew from Miami.
Bell Harbor or
Miami Beach.
Ah.
I still have my 305 area code.
look at that.
Yeah.
Representing.
Yeah, that's right.
So, what did you like living in Miami? Like, it seems like a very colorful city.
Yeah.
I think of Scarface.
It was basically Scarface.
I'm thinking of Miami Vice.
Oh,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I mean, it's all I have, but so I don't have like any other reference for what it's like to grow up elsewhere. But I don't miss it.
Okay.
I miss people that are there.
How long ago did you move out to LA?
It's dead 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I've been here a while.
I got a 12. I'm on my 12th
Oh,
year.
hey. And
Yeah.
you?
I'm from here. I grew up about a mile from here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so you have us beat. But we've been
I
here a
do. I
while.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But welcome to my
Thank
fair
you.
city.
Did you did you come out here to pursue all your creative hopes and dreams, or did you go to school out here?
I came here straight after high school. I did not know what I was doing.
Okay.
Which is, blessing and a curse. So I came out here delusional and have
Filled with
stayed.
the ignorance of youth.
Yes.
I think that's
exactly.
the only way you can do it, though.
Yeah,
Like
right.
in kind of
Well,
not
that with a
kill
trust
yourself.
or a trust fund.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you have a trust fund?
I didn't.
So you had that's a knock against you.
The delusions and the arrogance of youth.
It works.
Yeah.
So when you came out here, because I mean, I was saying you have these videos and you're acting them, you've written. I'm not sure if you've written all of them on there, but I know you write also.
Yes.
And you do stand up and stuff like that as well. So what was the goal when you came out here? Was it writing? Was it acting? What was it?
It was kind of we were just talking about Woody Allen, like that, to write and act and direct. And I did write and act and direct a feature like a decade ago.
Okay.
And I made the mistake of submitting early to festivals. I don't know if this stuff is interesting. I can just move past it. But it was essentially my film school. And it didn't do anything for me other than being an education, even though I think it turned out pretty well. And then the punchline, to me anyway, is that I made a web series for $60, and that's like it's now been being redeveloped as a pilot at CBS.
Is that
this
the
year,
10? Is that
and
10p?
7p 10e.
7p 10e. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the feature. So yeah, you make the not necessarily cheap in quality, but the cheap
Right,
thing
right.
is the thing that takes off, and then the feature is the
exactly.
thing that you put every dollar in
Blood,
every.
sweat,
that's
tears.
that's the first project where you dump all those ideas you've been scribbling in notebooks since you were in high school,
Right.
like all that unfiltered, the statement material, like this is going to be me, and that
Right.
all goes in the first project, and then you get all that crap out of your system, and then I feel like you can finally then do better work because you've expunged all the built-up nonsense.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Only I think my experience is problematic in that like so much of what I'm working on is the retelling of that same nonsense. Like,
But with more perspective now.
hopefully, yes.
And you
yes.
found a way maybe through, you've let me tell you what you've but like, like I'm hearing myself talking like that. No, but let me ask you. Okay, so would you say then that you're retelling it, but through the filter of more experience and with an eye towards what actually is important in that story?
I think I sound like pretty obsessed because all I'm talking about now is Woody Allen, but you guys opened this can of worms. But I think several of his movies are just the same story.
Yeah.
And even like I didn't care for Match Point, but I loved Crimes and Misdemeanors,
Yeah.
which that's
Yeah, it's
basically-
a match point is Crimes and Misdemeanors
With
without
sexier people.
and without
But
Martin
less-
Landau doesn't do it for you.
I love See, I prefer Martin Landau because
Yeah.
he's like talent. Whatever, not to shit
Well,
all over everybody, but I
Crimes and-
hated everyone, the actor, except for
I
what's her
love
name?
Match Point.
Well, I just can't stand Scarlett Johansson,
Oh, okay,
and I
so-
didn't think Jonathan Rhys-Meyers was very good. So it's like you have Angelica
they're so
Houston
steamy.
and Martin Landau, and then you.
Well, Crimes and Misdemeanors is a better movie.
Yeah.
But let's get back.
no
to
September.
Let's get
Come
back
on.
to you.
yeah, sorry. More about me,
Yeah.
please.
Well, that's why you're here.
No, that's true.
Well, as we explained you to you.
Yes, yeah. Please tell me what I'm all about. No, I guess I just sort of part of me imagined that making this movie would be like therapy, and I would like sort it all out, and then it would not be a part of the fiber of my being anymore. I've like dealt with all my
Yes.
angst, but no, it persists, I guess, is what I've learned is all.
Yeah.
So now what's then you do this web series.
Yes.
That's gotten some attention.
Yeah, that doesn't have this particular angst, so thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
So what's the web series about?
It is sort of about two people meeting on opposite coasts and maybe falling in love over the course of 31 days.
Okay.
Is the gist.
See, because they're in 2 time zones.
Yes. It's like 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. That was Chris Alvarado, who's the male lead in that series. The name was his idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I met you a few weeks ago, you had just done a stand-up show.
Yes.
So is stand-up something that you've because it sounds like you came here, I'm going to write roles for myself, I'm going to make films, I'm going to act in them, funny, humorous stuff. But was comedy something you always had you ever been on stage doing comedy before?
I hadn't been on stage like ever. Like stage terrifies me. I didn't do plays in high school. Like an audience is really scary. Weirdly, just like the presence of a camera makes me more comfortable. Like when I'm auditioning, if there's a camera in the room, I'm more comfortable than if it's just like a person. So yeah, this was terrifying to me. And I also wasn't specifically starting out in comedy. I was doing drama too. Right. I've sort of ended up in comedy because if you can do it, then why not?
Yeah, it's harder.
Yeah,
it's harder to make people laugh.
And I didn't think I could, but
but it is.
Wait, was this your first stand-up comedy or first time on stage?
Not that night, no.
All right.
In the last 6 months.
Okay, so this is fairly still new to you.
So, did you want to get into this as to challenge yourself?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like I'm pretty good at it. So which I can't say. I think because it was like low stakes, because it's not what I wanted to do. There's like an ease that I don't necessarily bring to my writing because I'm like, this is everything.
Right.
And
you don't feel I can just speak for myself as having done.
No, tell me how I feel. Sorry, go on. Speak for yourself.
From my experience, I told you I'm rusty. I apologize.
No, I like it.
No, you're always like this.
Actually, so Will has done a lot more comedic essays and storytelling. I've done some of it, but similar to you, I never ever did theater. Never was on stage. Nothing. So the first time I ever went up to do a comedic essay, 2 things hit me at once. One is, it's really hot up here, and I can't see the audience. But because that's not ultimately where my interests are, exactly like you're saying, the stakes are lower. I don't care if I don't get all the laughs. My ego is not tied up with, how that specific performance goes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's nice and liberating. Yeah. But then, of course, you do still want those laughs. You want some sort of reaction, but you're not, like, devastated if you don't get it.
Right.
Which maybe makes getting it easier. That's, like, the catch-22 of it all.
Maybe we're just not ego monsters.
I'm an ego monster. Let's be honest.
I think I found the episode title.
That's a good title.
Okay, let's talk about, because like I said, I was watching some of your shorts, and the Woody Allen one was the very first one I watched, because the second I saw, I was just scrolling through and I saw Woody Allen, and It's this very fun, it's like in an art gallery.
It's 2.5 minute people, just watch it.
you should watch it. So, obviously, I mean, we've talked about him now, so he must be your writing hero or something.
I mean,
because he's mine, even though I don't write anything really like him. But
yeah, you don't?
Do I?
It seems like a natural fit for you.
Yeah, you don't have the same cultural experience, even though you do come from New York.
Okay.
There's something very specific Borscht Belt. There's the Borscht Belt Jewish comedy angle that you don't have. That suffuses Woody Allen as well. There's it's a different kind of neuroses, I want to say.
I'm more Larry David than
but
then
Holocaust survivors' guilt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Woody.
Yeah. I mean, I love him. I feel like my one hero is dead. Heroes are dangerous. But
who's your dead hero?
Leonard Cohen, but I'm not even a musician. I just love him the most. Okay. He's like my god, Man, I guess
But do you go every year? Do you see the new Woody Allen movie? I go every year to whatever.
To whatever it is. I haven't seen the last few.
Oh, Cafe Society I thought was good.
I started it and then I should watch it. Maybe it's worth getting through. His last great movie, I think, was Vicky Cristina Barcelona. I thought that was really good.
I love Vicky Cristina Barcelona. I would argue Midnight in Paris is really great.
I didn't love it. I know everybody loves it.
And I might argue Blue Jasmine's really great.
Yeah.
It's a great performance.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Vicky Cristina Barcelona, I think I saw in theaters 3 times.
Oh, wow.
I just really enjoyed that. And I usually can't stand Scarlett Johansson.
I think that's too much Javier Bardem for any one person to handle.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I remember walking out of Vicky Cristina Barcelona and saying to my friend, like, Javier Bardem's character in that movie could convince me to sleep with him. Like, he was like, I wanted to sleep with him. Yeah. He's so charming and yeah.
Woody Allen is one of my heroes. I guess I don't want to say that he's like the ultimate, because there is also like Larry David and Tina Fey and Lena Dunham was doing some really interesting things. I liked Tiny Furniture when that came out.
But you don't think she's still doing interesting things? Because I'm still a fan.
I am too. I'm mixed on this season of Girls, but I'm still watching it.
Well, you only got 2 episodes left.
Waiting to see how she sticks the landing.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, I do really.
So the idea for this Woody Allen thing kind of came naturally then.
Yes, with this is kind of an interesting story. Drew Brooks, who actually wrote that one, so we came up with this idea together. We wrote a few episodes of this Woody Allen couple series, and then he directed it and is in it with me. We met on this BuzzFeed video where we're supposed to be it's drinking in your 20s versus drinking in your 30s.
Yeah,
that's also on my website. So we were improvising a lot of it. And the 30s pickups just started to feel like characters in a Woody Allen film. Just the way that we were improvising with each other. And so we were like, oh, we can kind of put these people anywhere. And then,
nice.
It was really fun to just make it.
There was also a really funny Game of Thrones video. As a Game of Thrones fan,
awesome.
I appreciate that too.
Thank you.
As a Game of Thrones fan, you figure out exactly this is when they made this, because this is what the episodes were leading up. And that also co-starred, I'm blanking on his name,
but Enver Kai.
Yes, because I'm blanking on because I'm never able to say it.
Yeah, it's
but I've liked him in a lot of things too. Yeah, he was great on Agent Carter.
Yeah.
And I liked him back in the day on Dollhouse.
I never have seen Dollhouse, but I've heard he was amazing.
He was really great on it. Yeah, and that.
Huge Buffy fan, so it's weird that I never watched Dollhouse. Yeah.
And I didn't watch Buffy.
Oh, I love
But you know why I didn't watch Buffy? It's because, and this actually could go for the topic for next week. It's because it came on when I was in college. And that's the one period in my life where I wasn't really watching a lot of television. In high school, I was watching a lot of television. Yeah. And then in college, I stopped because I was probably too busy, doing other things, I guess. And I didn't really have, a good setup to watch all this stuff. And then that and The West Wing are 2 shows that started then. And then when I got out of college, 24
what
started,
is this shit?
And then I got back into
Buffy. I'm a few years younger than you, so it started when I was in high school, and we used to go and there was a kid in our class that lived right across the street from the school, and so we'd go over there and he would tape Buffy, and then we'd go over there at lunch and then just watch that week's episode.
Amazing.
So this Game of Thrones thing, it basically is this couple's relationship and a lot with their sex life over the course of binge watching Game of Thrones or watching Game of Thrones over the years, and it was I thought that was very clever too.
Thank you. I wrote that one.
Okay, well, kudos to you.
Thank you.
And then I was watching another one about you're an artist who's making a movie with her vagina, which I also like that one.
Thanks.
Because it also reminded me of a guy I knew in college. I was involved in a project in which this guy made a film all from the perspective of his penis.
Wow.
And it was pretty funny.
Now that man is Joaquin Phoenix.
This guy was a good guy. His name was Matt Younks. But it's just the only film he made in film school. And he was getting a lot of mods out. But I helped him shoot some of it.
You're a cock wrangler.
And but the most impressive sequence in it was the sequence of having sex with the girl all from inside of a condom, inside a woman. It was very interesting.
I want to see this.
Yes, it was pretty great.
You've never seen a better use of paper mache in your life.
Let me tell you what, he didn't even have a good name for it. He was just I'm like, well, what's this? He went to show it to the class. What's this? He's like, this is cock cam. And we just watched it, and it was good. This guy also, now I'm talking about someone who's not even here. No one will ever find his stuff.
This is good.
he also, very early on, this is before anyone else was doing this shit, he did a lot of, like, man on the street stuff with, like, a puppet, and we'd go out on the street. And now, like, this seems like so, like, kind of hack, but at the time, like, we're like, this is really good. We'd go on the street, and he would, like, talk to people with the puppet and harass people with the puppet and yell at them and like, just going up and down Bleecker Street. And we had a crew where it was, I would shoot it. Our friend Ariel, who was a little more quick-witted, had a boom mic, but also, like, a microphone with an earpiece into Matt, who was controlling the puppet. And then there was some poor asshole who, after we insulted these people, had to run up to him and get them to sign a release. And people would attack the puppet. People would go physically after the puppet. Never him.
Yeah.
But one day he said, look, if someone ever goes after me, he's like, here's what I need you to do. He's like, the guy getting the releases, you jump in, try to pull him off me. All right, you start hitting him with the boom. Will, don't stop filming, but if you can, start kicking and get your feet in the frame. So this was the whole game plan we had. But anyway, back to your work. So tell us a little bit about that one, the vagina, filming with the vagina.
My friend Tim Lacatina started this group called Night Pants, and it's a lot of spelled with a Z, obviously. And it's a lot of different type of artists sort of collaborating, and Sarah Newton wrote and directed it, and they just asked me to jump in. But it was pretty nuts. Like you've seen at the end, I'm running around with like basically underwear and a camera fitted into the crotch of the underwear in Venice Boulevard, where there are plenty of crazy people. So like people don't understand that this is a joke. And people were like shouting crazy things, and some random person sort of like tried to rope me at one point. Like it just was.
Well, that seems pleasant.
Right. It was definitely like, it took me out of my comfort zone in a good way.
Okay. So it seems like you're doing a lot of stuff that takes you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Is the bug behind me?
No, I'm just looking. I'm doing a... I'll let you know.
Okay.
No bug. It's clear right now.
Okay, so what do you...
I'm just imagining a Far Side with a giant 7-foot fly standing behind you doing this.
Yeah. So you're doing a lot of stuff taking you out of your comfort zone. So what are you working on now? What's the next big project?
I'm writing a pilot for Super Deluxe right now.
Okay.
I'm on a rewrite. I'm excited about it. Yeah. It is still like some of those themes from my feature a decade ago have made their way back. Yep. And I've tried to leave it alone, but then people always want, let's see more of this storyline.
Like every time you think
let's relive your adolescent trauma one more time.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's really fun.
Are you doing any stand-up shows anytime soon?
I am. I met you the day that I had done one, and it was a competition, and so I'm moving on to the next round, which is April 19th at Flappers.
Okay.
Here in Burbank?
Here in Burbank.
Okay.
And that should be fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've not been like actively looking to do shows, but thankfully people have asked me to do some. So then I show up.
Well, let me tell you this. I thought all the videos that I had a chance to watch, I thought were really funny. I think people should definitely check them out.
Did you see any of the stand-up videos by chance?
I didn't watch any of the stand-up videos.
Well, those are available.
I watched the reel, though, the acting reel.
I watched the acting reel as well.
Cool.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Why don't you tell the people where they could find all this great stuff so then they could enjoy it as we did?
Oh, well, you can go to avitalash.com for one. There's 7p10e.com, which is the best way to watch that series versus like on YouTube, because there are like email exchanges and text messages, so it's a more interactive experience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or I don't know, maybe just a more satisfying experience. And then there's something that's just popped into my head because it was a weird thing where like we shot this teaser and then did, my friend Danielle and I, and then did a series for Maker, which they've released in Australia but not here, and I don't know if and when it's coming out, but you can see the original teaser, which is pretty fun if you look up Avital Ash, This Is Why You're Single.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, and this is in Australia?
We shot it here, but for some reason they've released it in Australia and not here.
But not for American audience.
Yeah.
We're not ready for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's it.
well, they gotta beta test it with the Aussies.
I don't know what's
And
holding
then-
them up, but we'll see. But it is really offensive, so maybe it's.
Well, this
they're not
sounds
ready.
up our alley.
I would blame Trump. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It is all his fault.
He started a fight with Australia, and now we can't get your show released
Yeah,
here.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, look, if you are a good listener of the podcast, you've already watched this stuff because you have seen it. We have a link on our Facebook page for
Cool.
it.
Yes.
So,
And we haven't been bugging you for a month, so you clearly are starved for something new to look at.
that's exactly.
Yeah.
And who better to look at than you?
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, no one better.
So, let's get to some of these pop culture topics here.
All right.
And you know, do you do a lot of whitewashing in your video? There are a lot of like you taking roles that should say go to Asian women in the videos you create.
Yeah, I just want to take jobs from every minority is my goal.
That's it. You
Well, the Jews have had a rough go of it. So.
Yeah, we had a hard time too.
Yeah.
I come from Holocaust survivors, so you know, throw me a
we
bone.
deserve it.
Yeah. Oh,
Well-
are you also? Yeah.
Yeah.
He just dreaded his hair, so for anybody who couldn't see, which is everyone but us,
I am not Jewish. And
No.
this confuses people.
because you're so like New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Mr. New York. I'm
Yeah.
the most Jewish non-Jew.
Yeah.
Would you agree? You've met
Yes,
a lot of non-Jews.
I've met a lot of non-Jews, yes.
Yeah.
So I'm-
Of all the non-Jews, you are the most Jewish of them all.
Yeah, the Jewiest non-Jew
Yeah.
goes to you.
Well, your favorite actress, Scarlett Johansson. Now,
I love her.
Why don't you look? Because I like Scarlett
You
Johansson.
do? I just don't think she's a good actor.
Okay.
I just get annoyed. I don't know. I also don't like Kate Winslet, who I understand objectively is a better actor and people love her.
Yeah.
Why do I want to shit on people? Everybody's great.
She was in The Reader. It was a terrible movie.
I didn't see it, but I just.
But she
feels
wasn't
like
terrible
she's
in it.
Phony. I just don't buy it. Whereas Scarlett Johansson, I feel like just doesn't do anything. And there's like a subtlety that I can enjoy in people, but she just feels like she's actually not doing anything.
I love Lost in Translation.
I have to see it again. I haven't seen it since it came out.
Well, anyway, if you're looking for a new Scarlett Johansson movie, there's this Ghost in the Shell. Now, Ghost in the
can't wait.
Shell, it's based off this very popular anime, which I saw back in 1995
Right.
and don't remember a goddamn thing about, but I do remember enjoying it. Well, the movie's gotten into a little bit of trouble here because Scarlett Johansson is cast in the lead role, Major, and in the major character in the anime and in the manga that the anime was based on is, of course, an Asian woman.
And it takes place in a futuristic version of Tokyo, Hong Kong-ish. Yeah. But it's very clearly an Asian city. It's not like Metropolis.
So when they announced the live-action version of this film, they were like, oh, maybe we'll get some great Asian actress play this role. No, we'll get Scarlett Johansson
Right.
in the part. And furthermore, there's a twist in the movie in which it turns out...
Well, just the premise of the movie is that she plays a soldier who is essentially, it's a robotic body, but her consciousness has been uploaded into it. So that's the Ghost in the Shell. So she's not really a human. She has a human brain in a robot body. So the justification was because this is a fake shell of a person, it could conceivably be any race.
But in the most tone-deaf moment of all, it turns out that the soul or brain of this woman was an Asian woman put in Scarlett Johansson's body, which that, to me, feels like, at this point, they're trolling Asian actresses at this point. They're just like, see, look what we did. So here's my thing, and I'm going to ask you this, because you're going to help us solve racism here. Will Hollywood ever start casting Asians in roles meant for Asians?
This is a good question. I mean, I think it's an interesting time where a lot of people that are finding success, especially minorities, are people that also write. You know, like Aziz Ansari has his series, and I don't know that an Indian man would be like the lead the way that he was able to do for himself. But I think ultimately it's just about like what's the word that I want? You know, whatever. I'll just paraphrase. Like star power. Like they're casting Scarlett Johansson because they're more likely to make money. There aren't
And they get the
Any-
financing because he's
Yeah,
a global
right.
star.
Yes.
Right.
Now, in that regard, I have a monicum of sympathy.
Yeah.
Because there are some of these stories that they're just not going to get the money to be made.
Right.
Well, maybe this movie didn't need to be made.
Yeah.
That's a separate issue.
That's a separate issue.
yeah.
But you look at something like The Great Wall, which I did not see, but it's that Matt Damon movie.
The
where,
Chinese ponytail movie, as
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel called it.
where Matt Damon's like in China fighting monsters with a bunch of Chinese people. Now,
But that was a Chinese production with a Chinese director, and he was playing a Westerner in China.
and I feel like that movie doesn't get made unless you have the star power of
Right,
Matt
right.
Damon. So then people complained about that. Like, well, why'd you need this Western character to be in there? Why couldn't it just be all Asian people? And I guess the answer is because if you want to employ all these hundreds of other Asian people, you need a
Right.
white savior? I don't know.
So then the argument is
It's-
like, why aren't there any Asian stars that are as big as Matt Damon, Scarlett Johansson, and then it's
Right,
just
the
perpetuated by the
I feel like there used to be, and suddenly there isn't.
Right, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon days.
yeah.
Well, Jackie Chan is a great
Right.
example.
Yeah.
Of a big Hollywood, like, people were flocking to his movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What's his name? Shoot, this is bad.
Jet Li,
No, with Jet Li, but then who was in Crouching Tiger?
Chow Yun
Fat.
Fat.
Yes, I was going to say Chun-Li because I was mixing up Chow Yun-Fat and Jet Li.
Chun-Li was the character from Street Fighter.
I'm aware of this. That's why I didn't say it.
Yeah, when you try and think of like an Asian actress who's really famous, like
It's
they're-
very hard.
Yeah.
Now,
Or like
We're
two
all thinking,
Indian
like-
actors
Yeah.
that we know of, you know.
so here's the thing. Why aren't they just taking more Asian actors and putting them in big roles when the Asian market is so huge? Won't the Asian market support Asian actors?
People like celebrity.
Yeah.
though.
And the machine there, I don't think, even if they're big in China or big in Japan, and you see this still, you see this with like with these big global productions where there'll be like, or in a Transform movie, will be this one random security guard who's Asian that seems to have a lot of lines and a lot of dialogue who
Well-
doesn't make sense in the movie. And then you realize, oh, it's the biggest box office draw in Korea.
Kong Skull Island just
Yeah.
did this. There's a Asian woman who, shamefully, I don't know her name. She clearly must be a big star in China, and she clearly also has difficulties with English because they didn't give her a ton of lines, but they give her a lot of prominent close-ups, and she's hanging around with that cast like one of these things is not like the other, and it has to
Yeah.
be to appease this Asian market. Now, let me ask this.
Interesting.
Now, Ghost in the Shell bombed. Do you think that this whole whitewashing controversy has actually impacted its box office, or do you think people just didn't want to see this thing?
I think the biggest thing tends to be like word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
And if everybody hates it, then nobody's going to go see it.
The word of mouth was like mediocre.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
I heard that I did not need to see it.
Exactly. And it looked interesting, but I feel like I've seen this movie. Ghost in the Shell was so influenced by Blade Runner, which in turn, that movie turned around and influenced The Matrix and all these dystopian, sci-fi, Philip K. Dick-ish movies that I feel like I've already seen this movie a million times, even though, I've seen the anime, so they take shots directly from the anime, but it didn't feel like I was going to be seeing anything fresh or interesting or new, just a rehashed version of something that's already 25 years old.
Totally. It looked like it would be cool to look at.
Yeah.
That's not enough to get me to go see a movie.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you, and I'll ask this to both of you, would you actively not see something because of, like, a whitewashing thing? Let's say Ghost in the Shell was getting generally good reviews. Would you ever, or a movie like it, would you ever go, nah, I'm not going to see that because that should have gone to an Asian woman?
This, I feel like, is maybe dangerous that I'm going to open a whole nother can of worms because I am still a Woody Allen fan, but I wouldn't see, like, Birth of a Nation because of that controversy. But I think whitewashing is such a gray area. Let's use all of the colors.
Yes.
Yes.
But it is because you understand that sometimes a movie only gets financing that way.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'm interested in seeing good movies. I know a lot of people that are survivors of rape, and that's like an issue that is more tangible, and that's like, I'm not going to go support a rapist's movie. Whereas the Woody Allen thing is kind of gray, but you know.
We talked about Birth of a Nation on the. Did you see?
No, I never ended up seeing it.
I went to go see it just because I had this as a cinephile. I was curious.
For a long time, I had the with the Mel Gibson movies where it's like, I'll see your movies, but I'm going to bootleg that. Or I'm not going to
buy a ticket for something else and go into the Gibson movie.
Yeah.
I will say this because I always have to say it when this comes up. Nate Parker and Woody Allen are two very different situations.
Yes, I agree.
They are two very,
even Polanski, I have sympathy for. Maybe we don't. Maybe this is a separate conversation.
Polanski, we know he did what he did.
But she also, he's from a different time.
Yeah.
And she wanted to take it back. It wasn't like...
And he also got weirdly railroaded by the DA and everything in that situation.
And the girl's mom was pushing her to press charges, and she then said that she wished... I don't know. I guess I also have sympathy for Polanski because he's survived like the two most horrible things I can fathom.
Nazis and the Manson family.
Yeah, right. Like, that's insane. If you told me the story, if that was like a movie, I'd be like, that would never happen to one person. Yeah. That's so far-fetched.
But to be fair, Audrey Hepburn didn't rape anyone.
She didn't go through the Holocaust, though, did she?
Yes, she did. She lived for like 3 years in the woods as like a starving...
That's why she was so thin. Because she fucked up her whole, like, system.
I remember there was something about her passing notes or something that was risky. Like,
no, she lived like 3 years in the forest trying to survive, like, to get through during the war.
In Poland? Or where
Somewhere
was she?
in, like, Eastern Europe, yeah. She didn't get out
No,
till,
it wasn't in, like, Belgium or Denmark or someplace like that.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but real quick on the Woody Allen thing, because I'm going to be, and now I very rarely have people on this podcast who agree with me about this, let alone
it's
also...
not a popular opinion.
Let alone also a woman who agrees with me on this.
There we go. This is trifecta.
Well, it's like the unicorn of... No, it's, because here's the thing.
Welcome back, listeners.
But here's the thing. There's so much gray area in the Woody Allen thing.
Yes.
There's so much we don't know. Right. And there have been accusations, remember, made against Mia Farrow for mentally abusing the children. Right, the other son Moses says she was the abusive one. So it's like we're never going to know.
Right. And it's not like there's repeated instances.
Exactly.
It's the one accusation. Then some people will be like, but he married his daughter. But that we know is consensual.
She was an adult. And by the way, she wasn't even his adoptive daughter.
It was Mia Farrow's adoptive daughter.
Mia and Andre Previn.
We can all agree, though, that Scoop was a terrible movie.
I did not see it.
I like Scoop, and I like Scarlett Johansson in Scoop being adorably nebbish.
I didn't hate the Larry David Woody Allen one either.
I didn't see that one.
I didn't really like it.
I think it was great, but I didn't hate it. I liked it.
Don't see Irrational Man.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's not good, and you won't like it, especially since it's the same themes as Match Point and Crimes and Misdemeanors.
That's the one with Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, it was fine.
Oh, it's terrible.
It was, It was okay.
I got one more whitewashing question.
Yeah, sorry to derail that.
No, that's equally my fault, if not more my fault. And I saw this debate on Twitter, and I'll ask you this first, Sean. Is remaking an Asian film in America whitewashing? Because somebody said, well, no. The remake of The Ring, that's not really whitewashing. That's just they remade the film in America and they put Naomi Watts. And then everyone accused this critic who I like, Scott Weinberg. They accused him of being like insensitive about this. Like, well, no, that's just as bad. But I really don't see that as being just as bad. Because it's not like it's some classically Asian character. It's like how they'll be like, oh, China has their version of Friends.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Or The Office is translated into several languages. We don't insist that they only cast like British people.
Yeah.
Well, they should. The humor doesn't translate at all.
The British Office was incredible. Yeah. But
I think the problem with this movie is that it was very clear they were trying to have their cake and eat it too. By still having it in this, there's Chinese writing in the city, and she has an Asian parent, and if they had just set this in like New York or some sort of like post-apocalyptic San Francisco,
that's exactly
and just like owned it, then that would have been very different. But they leaned into it, and part of it was because they were slavishly beholden to the source material. So it was they couldn't say that this was a remake because there was too much of the former and not enough in the latter to really, so it ended up looking and feeling like a cop-out, and I think everyone sort of sensed that.
I also read something, maybe this is wrong because I haven't seen the movie, but that she's supposed to be, they put her in what's supposed to be like the perfect body. So the suggestion is, even if she has the mind of an Asian woman.
Of a small Asian child.
Right. That the way for her to be perfect is like a
like
white
Scarlett
girl.
Johansson.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that becomes a little more offensive. Although, I understand she's a very beautiful lady.
She's a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
And on that,
moving on.
Well, we're just dropping the hottest of the hot takes here.
Yeah.
We're taking the positions no one else will take.
I think it's not that cool in this instance, like you said, for all the reasons that you just pointed out.
I mentioned that I thought Scarlett Johansson was like a really gorgeous woman to a mutual friend of ours and someone you met one time. Oh. And they said, and they were like, they fought me on this.
Was this AB?
What? No. They fought me on this. And they started pulling up photos of Scarlett Johansson that didn't look flattering, and it's like, go fuck yourself. Come on. Like, we were splitting hairs whether she's good looking or not.
Objectively, she's great looking.
She does not have split ends. That she has a solid hair care regime.
I'm attracted to talent, though. I don't like her, so I wouldn't hit on her.
She's talented.
Well, good for you.
Well, she's standing here, and we'll just make sure. Well, we know that you pass.
Okay, thanks. She's allegedly a Jew too. They say
allegedly.
So you either are or you aren't.
I mean, she looks like an Aryan goddess.
Well, her last name is Johansson.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, moving on. Trainspotting 2 came out. Have you seen Trainspotting 2?
I haven't.
That's okay, because it is mediocre at best. This movie has confounded me. Anyone on Twitter saw I had massive breakdowns about this movie where I tweeted myself into liking it. And here's why. This movie is basically about these characters 20 years later.
Or 20 or 25 years later?
20 years later.
Okay.
And they're all like, 20 years down the line. Their lives are kind of pathetic. They're not as much fun as their good old heroin days. Mm-hmm. And it's almost about their mediocrity. And somehow I convinced myself that the film's own mediocrity was on purpose to get me in this mindset, because this movie depressed the hell out of me. It made me feel so fucking old, because I'm like, what have I done with the last 20 years? Like, I'm just hosting this
At least
podcast.
Hugh McGregor's on a treadmill,
Yeah, I'm not even on a treadmill. I'm outrageously out of shape. These characters were much more interesting when they were on Smack. Sean.
Yes.
Was this the intended effect of this film?
I don't know. I thought about So Trainspotting is one of my favorite movies of all time. I knew nothing about it when I went to go see it. I was in high school. I was movie hopping with my friend, and this was the third movie of the day. We just stumbled into it, and I walked out feeling like I had just seen something, one, that I shouldn't have seen, and two, that was going to change the way I thought about movies as art. And so when I heard this movie announced, I was very wary. It's the same team, the same writer, and Danny Boyle came back to direct it. They got the same cast. And they kept insisting that they wouldn't make another Trainspotting unless they felt they had a story to tell. And Danny Boyle has gone on to become one of the most interesting and inventive directors we have. Formally inventive, stylistically inventive, creatively inventive.
He's always trying something new.
Always trying something new. He's switching up genres, and he's doing it with such a sense of style. And this movie I don't know if they overthought it to the point where it felt half-baked, if that metaphor makes any sense, but it just didn't work for me. Where the first movie was alive and pulsing and energetic, this movie just felt like it was stuck in one gear. The original movie, almost every scene, every sequence is trying something new, and
this movie
it felt like it was doing the same tricks over and over and over again. And also this movie felt scripted, like it had a 3-act structure, where the first one was kind of shaggy and meandering, and there's a plot, and it kind of snaps into focus at the end, but that's not really the point of this movie. Where this one really has heroes and villains and objectives and characters, and it felt blocky and clunky in the worst possible way.
I like that your complaint about it is it had everything that a movie should have. characters and heroes.
Structure.
And
No, but it
villains.
felt like
No,
a movie
I
that
know what you're
started.
saying.
Yeah, it
I
felt
agree
like a
with you.
movie that was being made as a movie and not
Just
as
ticking
this,
the boxes, but not.
Yes,
any heart.
exactly.
Okay, now I want to bring you into this. Who has not seen this? Do you get
Well, have you
caught
seen the
up-
original Trainspotting?
Yes, it's
Okay.
been a while, but I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah.
Did you get caught up? Do you get caught up in the nostalgia of things? Do you find yourself like?
Well, she said she's been telling the same story for the last.
Oh God.
But I mean, are we then just the kind of people who enjoy going back to the well?
Right.
I mean, but do you? I mean, I don't know if you're like a Star Wars person. That's like, but I feel like that's.
No, I am a nostalgia person. It's, I think there are things, like, it's not Star Wars for me, because I didn't watch that growing up, but, like, The Three Musketeers, the one with Chris O'Donnell and...
From the Kiefer Sutherland?
Kiefer Sutherland, yeah, Kiefer Sutherland's my favorite part of it.
Tim
And Rebecca
Burton-
De Mornay,
Tim
that was
Burton
like...
is,
yeah,
not Tim Burton.
Tim... What's his name? Rocky Horror...
Picture show.
Tim Curry.
There we
Tim
go.
Curry. And Oliver Platt.
Yes.
And Charlie Sheen.
It's a
So
golden
that's
age
your
cast.
Yeah.
So that's your like nostalgia point.
Yeah, it's
Like, will
weird.
you see anything Three Musketeers that comes out?
No.
That's my question.
No.
Like,
but I did love Beauty and the Beast because of nostalgia.
I think
really enjoyed
nostalgia
it.
helped me with that too,
Yeah.
and I think it's well done, Beauty and
Yeah.
the Beast. But I definitely like anticipating like the Be Our Guest number,
Right,
And then
right.
they
And it's a bunch of creepy CGI.
also Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, and you McGregor.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that you are a big First Night fan.
I haven't seen First Night. Is that the Heath Ledger? What is that
No,
one?
no, no. First Night was with Julia Ormond and Richard Gere and Sean Connery.
No, I've never seen it.
It's like another classic from the 90s. Sorry, moving
Oh,
on.
Do you
I don't know
get-
how I...
Do you have nostalgia for First Night? Like,
I
do you
mean-
do you have King Arthur nostalgia? Are you gonna go see King
No,
Arthur?
that's terrible. I don't have King Arthur. I have First Night nostalgia because Sean Connery was such a badass in that movie. Yeah,
I get that. I feel like Rebecca De Mornay was that for me from
Yes.
Three Musketeers. And she's also like a gorgeous
yeah.
woman.
Peak de
who's-
Mornay also.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
Peak de Mornay.
Yeah.
That and the hand that rocks the cradle.
She kept a dagger in her cleavage in...
Well, it's worth
That's
you
a
to
good
keep it.
look.
Yeah.
I feel all women should keep daggers in their cleavage.
This is
Yeah,
what-
I agree. That's
is-
why my romantic relationships don't go
There you
over
go.
so
They
well.
fall apart.
Yeah.
Just
Also, it
because
makes-
every man
it-
gets stabbed.
It makes for very you sneeze in the middle of a date and then all of a sudden the little circle of blood starts
Yeah.
pooling up. Like
It's problematic.
It's fine. It's not tuberculosis. It's not
Just a dagger.
just my boob dagger.
See, immediately I want a second date with that girl because I need to. It probably won't work out, and it'll probably end very badly for me. But I need to know more of the story.
Right, right.
You know what's gonna happen? She's gonna end up with your blood in a vial, a la Angelina Jolie.
That's fine. If Angelina Jolie wants a vial of my blood, I give it to her.
I'd give it to her too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you
I'd
go.
let her have it.
Okay, so let me ask you this, a further question about nostalgia. Because this Trainspotting movie, I have never seen something that made me personally feel this old, and I think it doesn't help that I saw it as a kind of break in the week I was having, which we will get to in the next topic.
It made me feel old just listening to you talk about it. So maybe that's not the nostalgia part. Because you were saying, as soon as you were like, and their lives are depressing and pathetic, I immediately was like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. I mean, Beauty and the Beast is nostalgia, but it didn't make me feel old. Or did it make you
Right.
feel old? Did you think back, like,
No.
I saw that cartoon when I was a
No,
kid?
it made me
and now
feel
I'm-
like a kid again, as opposed to making me feel like, oh God, that was so long ago.
Has there been a piece of entertainment, though, that has hit you in that way? Like, what the fuck have I done with my life?
Oh, I know there has, but
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it and get back to you.
I'm depressed. I mean, I didn't see the Power Rangers movie, but just the fact of its very existence made me
Yeah.
feel a little depressed. And then someone tweeted out a photo of a marquee, and it said, Beauty and the Beast, Power Rangers, and... Shit, what was another, like, movie that's out now that's... Fuck. It was another movie that's out right now, and then it said, what year is this? And it was essentially
Yeah.
3 movies from the 90s. I was like, oh, that's really sad.
Yeah, I keep thinking like 1990 is 20 years ago, and that's so long ago. And then I'm like, oh no, wait,
No, that's
30
sad.
years ago.
And now all the people that enjoyed those movies are in charge of making all the things, so we're just getting a rehash of, you
Yeah.
know...
But I mean,
But did we always have this, like, in the 70s? Were they remaking... I mean, they were remaking A Star is Born, so that was a form of nostalgia.
they remade King Kong in the 70s.
They did. But it wasn't quite
I feel like
the
it's
same.
a different way.
Well, no, but here's the difference. In the 70s, they made Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars, which were nostalgic for the kinds of entertainment they enjoyed as kids, but was filtered through new sensibilities. You know, they weren't remaking Flash Gordon. They were taking the Flash Gordon model and applying it to something new and original.
But and then they made Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Stranger Things? That relies heavily.
That works for me, and it didn't make me feel old. And that I think hits the spot that we were just talking about, where they took the tone and the influence of something, but made it their own.
Yeah.
There was enough originality in it that...
Fuck this It movie, by the way. We got to talk about this. I hated that trailer.
Oh, you're like one of the only people.
I saw people that hated the trailer, but I didn't watch it. Why didn't I watch the trailer?
Why didn't you watch the trailer? Because you didn't want to be scared of it.
Yeah.
By the way, that miniseries scared the shit out of me in 1990. I mean, I was only like 10 or so watching this thing, but it scared the fuck. I slept with the light on.
Also with Tim Curry.
Tim Curry is Pennywise the Clown. Did you have something else you wanted to say?
No, I mean, I don't want to like riff on it right now, but I have thoughts.
Okay, well, we'll get to that at some
future
point
date.
in the future. But I'm in for the It movie.
Oh, you're down.
That's how we end this topic. I'm in for the It movie.
We went from Trainspotting to also T2. Come on.
Yeah, why are they doing this?
They're remaking it?
No, Trainspotting isn't called Trainspotting 2. It's called T2 Trainspotting.
That's very weird.
Yeah, what?
Come on.
Yeah.
I feel like everything with Trainspotting 2 was like half-assed planned.
Yeah.
I don't understand this movie. I'm kind of obsessed with it, and I kind of want to see it again because I'm obsessed with it. But it's not good. I know it's not good.
This is like me. This is your Alexander.
That I don't understand. I don't understand.
But you're obsessed with it.
I'm obsessed with it. I'm not going to go see it again. But I'll probably, when it pops up on HBO, I'll watch it again and be like, what am I doing?
This is your Miami Vice, your Alexander.
So we've been off for a little while, and one of the reasons was that I had to take a test. I had to be tested. I don't like being tested.
Well, for paternity.
See, I have this job, this quote-unquote job, and I've had it for the past 6 months now, and it requires me, apparently, to be state certified. I do not have the state certification, and the certification to get it, I needed to take a 52-hour course followed by a 3-hour test that had 160 fucking questions on it. And if I failed this test, I'd have to keep taking it at $83 a pop. Now, it's not even worth it at this point. Now, here's the thing. What I learned in this class does not even apply to my fucking job. In fact, the job told me to forget everything I learned. Everything you learn in this class, don't bring it back to the job. It has nothing to do with it. So what was the point of taking this class? Because the state told me to? What are we, being controlled by the state now? What is this, 1984? So I spent 7 days in the most boring class and course, and it caused me, like most things do in my life, to have an existential crisis. First of all, like I said, it was fucking boring. But secondly, it reminded me of my goddamn station in life. I never sold my scripts. I never made it as a writer, so I had to fall back on something. I chose not to go back to school because I knew whatever I went back for was not the thing I really wanted to do, so I took a day job that allowed me to write and perform and do podcasts at night. But this fucking class reminded me that I settled in life because at the end of the day, I did go back to a school. I'm in a fucking class to do something I don't even want to fucking do. And that's why you, adult education, this week's enemy of the podcast, go fuck yourself. You shouldn't teach an old dog new tricks. And now I'm going to have to quit my job because I'm trapped. I hope you're happy.
But Will, adult education is a wonderful thing.
Adult education is a terrible thing. They make you read Beowulf. Oh my God, am I overreacting to this?
See, Will, you should have just done what I did and made the bargain with the devil a long time ago.
No.
What bargain did you make?
He's wearing a button-up shirt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, you're wearing a button-up shirt, but yours is more fun.
Yes,
mine is more
I didn't wear this
fancy.
button-up shirt.
I had an
to
audit
work.
today.
Oh.
So.
Oh my God, audits.
You were getting audited, or you were
At work, I had a work audit.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't do anything wrong, I passed.
Oh, good.
I gotta
Good. Both
deal
of you
with-
passed.
Yeah,
Great.
I passed my test. Yeah, I passed my test.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, yeah. So let me ask you
You
this.
sound thrilled. Yeah.
You are somebody, you're living your best life, right? You're living your dreams.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I see people tweet it.
So I don't know. He's heard about it in T2, Trainspotting.
Have you ever thought of like, well, I gotta go learn a new trade? Have you ever thought and went back?
I've thought like I should give up, but then I always come back to I have no other skills. So that's where I guess adult education could be a beautiful thing. But thankfully, I'm making a living doing this stuff now. I still want to kill myself half the time, but
it's a different
it's only
kind of
half
wanna
the time.
kill
yes,
yourself.
yeah, exactly. And it's gone from full time to half.
Look, here's the thing. Legitimately, I mean, slightly tongue in cheek. Because what's nice about the job I have now is I do write at night, I do podcasts, I do shows.
It's not 80 hours a week.
Yeah, and it provides structure. Like I found when I was hostessing, which is again like I wasn't good at that. I wasn't a good waitress. But when I was hostessing, I was fine at hostessing. Waiting tables is another story. But I'd be so annoyed that I had to be at work at 6 p.m. or whatever it was. But I would get my stuff done before. Whereas like when you have all day, I think it can be harder.
I performed a whole essay about this where when I was unemployed, everyone's like, now you're going to write all the time. And I couldn't write a goddamn word. And then the second I got this job, I finished that novel I was working on.
Yeah, it's so weird how that works. You think time is going to grant you freedom, but it's sort of like
time traps
restrictions
you.
do. Yeah.
If you did fall back on something, if you had to fall back on something, what would be the dream fall? What would be the best possible fallback? Like, is there something that you thought, like, I wouldn't mind, like, if I ended up doing this or that?
Maybe being a teacher. I had an AP English teacher that I loved, and that would be...
That's kind of, like, if I did go back to school, that's why I was thinking of going
Yeah.
back.
So you could wear a jacket with patches on the sleeves and,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would lean into
Oh,
the
Captain,
whole...
my Captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about...
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
That's
Sean...
the dream.
I make a weird case.
Well, like you said, you made a deal with the devil, like, years ago.
Yeah.
So I guess I can't ask you this question.
Nah.
But
I had my reasons for doing it at the time, too, so... which I'm not going to go into on this podcast.
Are you happy?
It took me many, many, many years to... No, it did. It took me many years to kind of make peace with it and to find... a happy medium. Part of it was I wasn't in the right environment. Part of it was the timing of my career for various external things I had no control over. But now I'm in a place where I'm much happier and content, and I have finally, and it took me years to get here, have that like good balance between quality of life and income that like takes some of the edge off. But it took me a while to get to that place. So...
I always think it's so funny when people say, I just want to be happy. And maybe I'll do like a stand-up bit about this because it's like, oh, really, just? Is that it?
Yeah, that's
like
then what? Then you need to kill yourself. The second you attain happiness, that's it. Just kill yourself. You're done.
Right. But even just to like, oh, I just want to be happy. It's like, to me, it's akin to saying like, I just want to be on, you know.
No, I'm not happy. I think I wanted to get to a certain place in my life where like my Maslow hierarchy of needs were being taken care of, where I could free up certain stresses and anxieties were being taken care of, where I don't have to worry about them, and so I could focus my energies on other things.
Yeah, it's hard to be creative when you're
when you're worrying about things.
Every time I was sat down to write, I would always stop because I'm like, oh shit, I should be applying for jobs.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, what's nice is, I'll go out and do a show, and then it's nice that now I could like go buy a drink with people afterwards and not be like, I'm going to go broke.
Right.
Or I'm not worried about like if I want to pull into Taco Bell and order some Taco Bell. I'm obsessed with Taco Bell. This is one of the rare episodes where we don't talk about Taco Bell.
Well, they'll come back next week.
We have a whole Taco Bell thing.
I'd like to be paid in Taco Bell for being here.
Really?
Just like a Baja Bean Chalupa. That's it.
I owe you, next time I see you,
okay, great.
we will get Taco Bell.
Thank you.
I always like to end on a weird note, though. And this one struck me. This is not about Taco Bell, unfortunately. Usually it is. A park in China is now using facial recognition software to dispense toilet paper to make sure people only take an allotted amount of toilet paper. It gives about 2 feet. And if that is insufficient, you have to wait 9 minutes to get more. A park spokesman said, if we encounter guests who have diarrhea or any other situation in which they urgently require toilet paper, then our staff on the ground will directly provide them the toilet paper.
Oh my God.
This is causing a lot of problems in these parks because also a lot of people think this facial recognition stuff is just the state, fucking state that makes you take exams, trying to keep track of people.
Oh my God.
But this is insane.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing that Chinese food doesn't cause you to have to go to the bathroom.
And also
Nothing like an undercooked street pork dumpling to really send you fleeing.
And then you have to let everyone know you have diarrhea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, do they have St. Bernard's with instead of the like they have in the Alps with like a toilet paper roll?
How do they find out? Like you have do you you have to run out of there without wiping properly?
And what if you? I mean, clearly they're very concerned about the use of toilet paper. So do they have to prove it? Do they have to be look in the toilet and see?
Is
Is China literally whitewashing their citizens?
Is there some sort of but is there a toilet paper shortage that we don't know about?
There actually is in Venezuela. It's no joke. There are issues with toilet paper. It's a whole thing. But yes, there's toilet paper shortages.
Send
How do
the
you
people
know
of Venezuela.
Read The
toilet
Economist. Other thing too, we know the solution to this. We already found it out in 1992. This is just getting us towards the Demolition Man
the
world.
three seashells.
The three seashells.
The three seashells.
What?
You don't know how to use the three seashells?
What?
Have you ever seen the great Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes film and Sandra Bullock film, pre-Speed Sandra Bullock film Demolition Man?
I have not.
Well, you should watch it.
Takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where Taco Bell is the only restaurant.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yes. And so what is it Sylvester Stallone is cryogenically frozen and wakes up in the future, and so everything is different. And he goes to the bathroom and there's no toilet paper, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you just use the three seashells." And he's like, "What do you mean? How do you use the three seashells to wipe?" And that's kind of the
he
jokey
doesn't
mystery.
know.
Oh, they
Three
never
seashells.
say
Yeah,
it.
but it's the
They
running
never
jet.
tell.
He's he
That's
never does
amazing.
It's a
three
pretty good 90s action sci-fi movie.
Oh, I gotta see it.
Worth a look. And yeah, Taco Bell won the fast food wars, so now every restaurant is Taco Bell.
Yeah. Sounds like a dream.
There you go.
And on that note, Avital, thank you.
Thank you.
For coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you for being our first guest back.
First guest ever.
And
Ever, yes.
Thank you.
It's doing a hard reboot on the series.
Yeah. This is the
Thank
new
you.
face.
Wilshire Podcast, The Next Generation.
Yeah.
The Ash years.
WSP2.
Yes.
Wilshire Podcast.
TNG.
TNG.
Thank you
The
also.
Next Generation.
Oh, yes.
Thank you also for making all these very funny videos, which you're going to tell everybody where to find again.
Avitalash.com.
Spell it for people.
AV as in Victor. ITALASH.com.
Okay.
And you can find me on social media at @TheSeanDavid. I have returned to Twitter.
Welcome back.
You replied to one of my tweets, and you replied to a tweet from Dana Schwartz.
And I did one tweet myself.
Yeah, but not from your...
No, I did. I did a tweet from my account.
What'd you say?
Something hilarious, no doubt, that clearly broke the internet.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
This
said...
is about the Pepsi commercial?
Nah, let's not. I tweeted... Oh, hey, Twitter, what did I miss?
Oh, so you're announcing a return. This is legit. You're gonna be back tweeting your snarky bullshit.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. No,
I missed it. I know.
I've been annoyed. I've been for you. You haven't honestly lately. You're pissing me off. You're not killing bugs when I ask you to, and I'm gonna get a mosquito bite on my fucking forehead, and then I'm gonna it's gonna grow, and I'm gonna go on a date, and the girl's gonna stab me with her cleavage knife, and it's gonna be awful.
You should be so lucky.
Yeah, I should be so lucky. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at The Real Will Link. I'm doing a couple of shows.
What?
Ooh.
Yeah, April 20th.
Not if you get a face bite from
Yeah,
mosquito.
no, my big break is gonna be blown because of you, and you fucking won't kill a mosquito. April 20th, I am going to be at the Comedy Central stage in Sit and Spin, one of my favorite shows to do around town.
All right.
So that's a free show. You just got to get tickets ahead of time.
There's a good cafe next door, too.
Where is that?
It's at the Comedy Central stage, which is on the Hudson Theaters on Santa Monica Boulevard. If you
Just
know
in
where
the
that is.
sketchy part of Hollywood.
Yeah. I do know where that is. That little theater row.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
So if you're not doing anything, come
Yeah,
on
Back to
the
down.
the
night
West
after my
End.
show.
And April 26th, I'm going to be part of Megan Hayes' terrific show. Megan Hayes and Oscar Sagastumi, who I'm butchering his name, I'm sure, are doing their show Tales of Tinseltown at 3 clubs. Have you done storytelling shows?
I haven't.
You should do storytelling shows. You should check the show out.
Okay.
Because I feel like you probably have some Tales of Tinseltown to tell.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a bunch.
That one's April 26th at the 3 clubs.
All right.
Cool.
And that's also on Santa Monica
It's like right
Boulevard.
near the, yeah.
Everything's on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Yeah, I want to come.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams.
On the show next week.
We do have it next week.
Yeah, we're coming back strong. We have Taylor Brogan. She is a terrific writer, and she also currently is working in a writer's room as an assistant, I should say. I don't want to... But anyway, she...
Don't oversell the sizzle.
No, I just, you know,
Yeah, she's Matthew Weiner.
yeah.
Weiner, sorry.
Anyway, but I want to ask her about that, working in a writer's room as the assistant, also writing your own things and things. I know she just did a panel at WonderCon and things like that. Cool. So I want, she's going to be on here. She's like a Twitter person. I know her from Twitter, and now like I'm going to meet her in reality.
There you go.
It's thrilling. I'm sure this is thrilling for her.
That's how we find half our guests, to be honest.
No, I met this one at a diner.
Yeah.
And
That's the other half of the places we find our guests.
The week after that, we are doing our summer movie preview.
Because we didn't want to overload you with guests coming right back out of
But
the
the
gate.
week after that,
Yeah.
bringing back one of our all-time greatest guests and also our longest episode ever, Dylan Brody's returning to the show. The brilliant Dylan Brody.
Fresh off of his appearance on the Mark Maron podcast.
Yeah, he goes from... Marin was just,
Maron opened for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Avital, thank you so much for being on the show, and want to welcome everyone back for the Will Sean podcast. I'm Sean David.
I'm Will Link.
And we're finished.
Finish.